them know about certain specific strats.
I think there's going to be a lot of heroes that we didn't see from the other teams.
Radiant team's turn to pick.
Silencer.
All right, well, as we get ready here, the players are already focusing on the draft. This is the last elimination match here at the first day of the main stage at the International.
VGJ Thunder versus VG Gaming.
10 seconds remaining.
1.
All right, well, Lyrical,
5
we already
seconds
see
remaining.
one of the picks, it looks like, coming up here. It is Silencer standing there on stage. I mean, are you looking for anything in particular here between these two teams?
I mean, I think that it's sort of a story of, you know, openers that are kind of interesting. We've seen a lot out of at least
Radiant
VGJ
team's
Thunder
turn to
going
pick.
for Silencer Necro, and now this time around we're going to be seeing that it's VG that are taking the Silencer away, and they're going for a first round Terrorblade
Dire
pick.
team's turn
This
to
is kind of
pick.
crazy to me. This is not something that I feel like they ran all that much throughout the group stages, but maybe taking some time and they go back for the Necrophos now. I feel like this opening is pretty crazy, and it sort of harkens back to what Winter was saying, where these teams are scrimming against each other a bunch and just trying to take those initial picks out.
Yeah, I mean, Winter, you were chucking a little bit at the
10
picks here
seconds
so far.
remaining.
Is it just because of what we just discussed with Lyrical?
Yeah.
That they're so familiar with each other?
They're really
5
familiar with
seconds
each other
remaining.
to the point where it's no problem for them to just pick like 2 heroes like this right away. I mean, we see a clear combo, the Thunder into the Necrophos Ultimate. That's pretty straightforward, but I think just like probably going to be these 2 picks is like trying to snatch away the opponent's like favorite heroes, take away their comfort heroes, because you don't really get to ban a lot of the picks since they were second pick on Thunder. So I think this is a lot of this has to do with the mentality of that they are trying not to give away their comfort heroes.
All right, well, it is interesting,
Dire
right?
team
Obviously,
back.
earlier we heard that it was maybe a little bit more these days about counter picking, working around those strategies, but when you're this familiar with each other, you just start picking whatever
Yeah,
you can.
but isn't Silencer like really good against like these 2 heroes?
Yeah, I think so. And the other thing that's crazy is, like, for both of these teams, it's not in their top most picked heroes throughout all of the group stages. It's like they're pulling out things that are completely different. The
10
Earthshaker combo
seconds
together with it, I
remaining.
really like the VG Gaming draft already. It's a ton of team fight. The downside
5
is that both of
seconds
these heroes
remaining.
feel like they're pretty weak laners, and so they're going to need to address that with their core picks.
So what I think about these 2 drafts is this is like completely different from like what we see from the other teams, because they scream against each other. And then what I really think about these Chinese teams are slower in tempo. So that's why the Silencer first pick is good, because usually they don't skirmish a lot, and then they're always gonna have a Silencer ulti up when they fight. So that's why I picked the Silencer first pick, and in the response is VGJ Thunder is, okay, we're not gonna team fight you at all. We're just gonna pick the 2
Radiant
one
team's turn
really
to
good
ban.
late game hero, Terribly. I don't really know that there's that many heroes good against it, right? And then
Dire team's
if you
turn to
want to
ban.
pick a hero that's good against Terrorblade, I mean, more than Terrorblade, you have to pick something like
Offlink maybe? What do you think?
it's really strong carry hero, and then that's not Weaver. That's not a lot of the heroes that's Clinks. Those are not the heroes that's good against Terrorblade. And then Necrolite, against Necrolite, you cannot pick like PA
10
or
seconds remaining.
the heroes, or what do you call Void that can win against
5 seconds remaining.
So you're saying the 2 picks here, they're making it very difficult for you to find a counter pick towards like the late gamer. It
Yeah,
makes
that's
it
what I
really
think,
difficult
yeah.
for you.
I think maybe they might end up going back for the Kunkka here on Vici. Really good against the Necro
Radiant team
ulti. We saw
banned.
that earlier today. It's a hero that Ori loves to play, and it allows you to get active really early on. So I wouldn't be surprised if VGJ Thunder banned that out here. And if not, then Vici might decide to pick it up too. And it kind of fits within that theme too. Strong laners, and then also something that can team fight.
Yep, and we see the Venge and Clockwork Band. Clockwork Band in particular, quite something we don't see too often, but that's because they have Silencer and Earthshaker. We know
Radiant
how
team's Dire
Clockwork can be
team's
very
turn to
devastating from the last game. So,
Yeah. And Terrorblade, I mean the Batrider ban is like Batrider is a classic counter against
Terrorblade
Necro
and
and Terrorblade. So
oh, that's even another combo, Thunder into the finger.
yeah.
I'm actually surprised that we don't see that many Lions anymore. I felt like Lion is a hero that he's quite suitable in like let's say a 2-1-2 setup. He
10
provides you with
seconds remaining.
initiate, a stun, a hex, a lot of damage as well from the finger.
I
5
didn't see that
seconds
from the
remaining.
Thunder side of the supports, but I know Lanham loves that hero, and then he played it a lot, and then because they come from the same team, maybe they have a good, both similar idea where the line is good.
The other thing too is it's kind of nowadays we're seeing the trade of the regen battles, and if you've got mana drain that's in there naturally, you're going to be winning that battle because you take away the ability for them to spam their spells against you. Kind of a nifty little play there, or just go for the kill if you want to go for Hex early too.
So from the VGJ Gaming side, like we really need to pick a hero that's really good against. Like you need a good carry hero, or just try to death ball. And then from the VG Thunder side, I want to see a hero that can kind of frontline. Necro is a really good tanker, but I don't really want to put him on the front line all the time. That's why the Clockwork would have been a good pick for the Necrophos side, but they banned it out.
All right, well, they're starting to read into each other a little bit, but it looks like both of them still fairly comfortable with what they have.
Call-to-call
Radiant
matchup
teams
against
turn to
Terrabit. I
base.
remember there's this troll. If you look at matching the late game troll, there was something I think VP picked a lot against Terrabit before. The other hero is Arc Warden. So these are the only two heroes that I can come up with my mind that can match against Terrabit in the late game.
So Furion is Nature's Prophet is a good lane pressure against TV in the laning phase. And
10
then
seconds
when he gets
remaining.
Slice of Vice or the Orchid, he can be really good in the mid game is what I
5
feel.
seconds remaining.
I think that's a good lane too, that and Earthshaker together. We've been seeing a lot of times now you block off the opponent's creeps through the first wave so that yours are pushed underneath it. That gives you pretty good lane pressure and equilibrium after the fact. So could see those two going together and maybe trade off a little bit of farm too, get Earthshaker into a quick break.
I feel like the other option they have is maybe laning the Silencer with the Prophet. I think if you are looking to pressure the Terrabit a lot, the dual range, plus maybe a safe laner that doesn't need too much from the supports. I felt like that direction towards pressuring TV might be a viable option for VG here.
It may be too early to say, but Necrophos is usually good against Nature's Prophet in the lane. And then I have seen Salah in the past where he goes mid with the Terrorblade a lot. So if the mid matchup is okay for him to go mid, I feel like they might choose that road as well, since they have a last pick as well, right?
All right, that's true. There's some options here. We're still waiting on Thunder to start showing their hand a little bit more.
I feel like already just at the outset, I kind of like the VG Gaming draft a little bit more. I mean, Terrorblade obviously is scary when you get to the later stages, but they have a lot of time to figure it out. And I feel like Terrorblade has proven to be a hero that there are answers to, and VG are like building towards that answer already.
Could be support, could be off lane for them, the Wind Ranger, but at least it gives them I think much more stable laning phase. Whereas for VG right now,
10
they're
seconds
kind of like
remaining.
figuring out what kind of core matchups like they want to put against like the Terrabit and
5
the Necro.
seconds remaining. Turn to ban.
It's very difficult to pick like a super core-to-core matchup because of how Terrabit works. It turns you against yourself with the reflection. Lina on the other hand, that's pretty decent. I think against the Terrabit, you want to have like some sort of like magic burst against him. Pretty good laner as well. You can play really aggressive with the Prophet TPing in. Maybe you get a kill, you push a tower.
So VC Gaming needs carry
10
now.
seconds remaining.
And then Alchemist is really bad against Necrophos. I think he's
5 seconds remaining.
Why can't you just like play a pushing like with Prophet?
yeah.
I think they shouldn't try to take the game late though.
Yeah, and Lina can keep that type of momentum going here. You could even think about, going back for just a super hard pusher and run Nature's Prophet position 1, and then he could start rotating around.
Or even pick a Lycan. Maybe that's the kind of direction that I feel like they could possibly go to. Lycan is this hero that the Chinese teams like to pick before, but he hasn't been picked that much recently. I feel like that's what they want here against the Terror, but you never want to like try to trade farm and go into the mid-late game against that hero.
All right, well, it seems like that question is still a little bit unanswered for VG.
Dire
They're
teams
doing
turn to
what they
ban.
can to round it out.
Turn to ban.
We have the PL being banned out as the last ban from Thunder. Is there anything else that VG perhaps is afraid of from
Dire
Thunder coming
teams
out as the last
VG
ban? Oh,
Gaming's turn to pick.
ooh, Brood Mother.
Are they going to drow? That's banned out first phase.
Yeah.
They could think about going back for something like the gyrocopter themselves, and then you can like really put the pressure on, like you guys were saying, and try and finish this game off super early. The only thing that you'd really be worried about as far as like the VG Gaming Thunder side is something that delays that game.
I was first thinking of the PL, but like since it's banned,
10
I think
seconds
maybe
remaining.
the Lycan, like Winter said, seems like a good idea. Because
5
Lycan
seconds
does
remaining.
lose to
Radiant teams
TD
turn to
later
pick.
in the game. Okay.
Ah, there you go. The Arc Warner that we talked about briefly. Coming
That's
out.
the call-to-call matchup against Terrorblade. If you reach that point, like ultra late game, Arc Warden actually outskills Terrorblade because you kind of counter him with the magnetic field, so it makes it very hard for the Terrorblade to output damage. But I've seen Terrorblade against Arc Warden that they go
10
blink,
seconds
they
remaining.
just blink in and try to close the gap and kill him. It's not something that you see too often,
5 seconds
but you
remaining.
have to alter your item build against the Arc Warden.
I really like BC Gaming's lineup much more so far. They have a solid lane, and then I don't know much about the Arc Warden, but listening to you, it sounds like a better late game as well.
All right, do we trust Winter in this matchup at analysis? We'll find out. I mean, listen, it's a best of one, so you're putting yourself out there. But we are waiting on that last pick coming in from Thunder. And it looks
Choose your hero.
Magnus. All right, Magnus to round it out. So that's all 10 heroes selected. This is the last game of the day and the fourth and last elimination match here in the first round of the lower bracket. But before we get into game, we actually have a guest over here. It's BSJ to kind of break it down for us. What you got for us, my man?
For this draft, I'm going to talk about the concept of space makers and space takers. And I feel like Necro has a lot of weight on his shoulders to open up the space on the map for Terrorblade and Magnus to farm. I feel like there's too much early game pressure coming out from these heroes like Lina and Nature's Prophet, the burst damage, the global presence. And I feel like they're just not going to be able to have enough of the map to farm in order to scale with the Terrorblade into the late game. So I'm favoring VG Gaming not only because of that, but also because of the fact that, as you mentioned, that the Arc Warden bubble so good against Terrorblade as the game goes on.
5 seconds
it doesn't-
remaining.
MKB doesn't work on buildings, so this Terrorblade has no natural way to scale in terms of sieging objectives, and they have no actual gap close for the Arc Warden as he's farming in the early game. And then once the Magnus gets blink, you have the clone to break that apart. And I just feel like the game plan falls together better for VG than it does for VGJ.
Looks like they might have a clearer picture, like you said, BHA. We'll find out in this last game. It's one game between these two teams, and to bring you all the action, it is ODPixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Chobrady. The last game of the day here at day one of the TI8 main stage, and what a game to end it on. It's VGJ Thunder versus VG Gaming, and what fantastic picks we have here, Fog. I don't know what it is. We've got a Sylar Terrorblade. This was something that in the group stages looked pretty much nigh on unbeatable. We've got a we've got a Magnus on one side, we've got a Shaker on the other. These huge two big team fight playmaking heroes. Who have you got to go with here? Who do you feel has come out with a better edge?
Oh, man. The Arc Warden last pick was really, really good for the exact reasons the panel pointed out to progress to that later stage, to kind of give him that safety net. If things go wrong, we can rely on an Arc Warden to the later stages game. It actually also is, it can be pretty decent versus Magnus, right? In the fights, you're going to be laying down your spirits, your Ghost all over the place, your Spark.
Has to somehow play around the global silence.
Can they keep the pressure onto Sylar though? I think we got to see what, me and you got to do two, I think, Sylar Terrorblade games, and I don't think he died, maybe he died once in both of them, something like that.
You can't give this man space, as you say. He, on his Terrorblade, he had some crazy games. He was just free farm, and then it was impossible to play against him. Every team fight, it seemed that Thunder as a team were just fantastic at sort of playing around him, making sure that Sylar gets the chance to find himself in that perfect position and to find those centers. But early on here in game one,
TPC.
We are having this movement with this smoke ladder.
Surrounding him.
To find the Fisher, Ori, in with the Light Strike Array. They've got the follow-up, they've got the swing. They turn to DDC and take him down. First blood for Paparazzi.
And some int for the Silencer. Great start already for VG, as they do scout the lanes as well. At least, you know, I mean, it was pretty obvious already for Thunder, but now they're confirmed, you know, Terrorblade and Lion are bottom, so they can look to put pressure on that. Lion struggles a bit to actually help in the lane so much, but it is a Terrorblade, so that first meta usage is going to be really important to see what they can do versus 11. But this lane coming out from VG, I believe it's going to put a lot of pressure onto the Sylar, which is exactly what they need to do.
Absolutely. This is the lane that they've got to worry about the most, I feel. You can't let Sylar have a good start.
And I love the point that BSJ brought up is, you know, you have to look at how you want to actually take space on the map and who's going to be making your space. Magnus, a hero that traditionally can't really make that space for yourself. They're going to have to do really well in this top matchup so that the Terrorblade can get enabled by the movements coming out from Yang, securing them to like go for these plays.
We'll see likewise how much pressure Thunder could put onto
Radiant
Paparazzi's
structures have
Arc Warden
been snow
top.
fortified.
At the moment, both Fade and Yang are going to be dual laning with a Wind Ranger and Magnus combination.
It is a pretty
Dire
strong
snow
dual lane coming
fortified
out from
their
Thunder to put
structures.
pressure onto the Arc Warden is the one thing. If you go for Empower level 1, you can empower your Wind Ranger constantly, and the damage does start to add up, those right clicks.
And I'm intrigued to see how the mid lane matchup goes. We have this Necrophos from Freeze being brought to the mid lane, but it's against Ori's Lina. And Ori, as sort of a mid laner in terms of performances in 1v1s, I mean, this guy, he's beaten TAs in straight up 1v1s. He's won matchups that he just shouldn't. He has been that good. But bottom lane, DDC, again, a second time. This time in the lane, they find him. 11 in return. One more touch will bring him down. Sylar does get it. So they do find the trade down on the bottom lane, 1-for-1.
Now that meta's going to be gone, though. It's gone in about 3 seconds or 4 seconds just now, and that's when VGJ can put that pressure on. Sure, the one nice thing about Terrorblade is you've got 12 armor to deal with that harassment from the Treants, but it still starts to hurt, especially for EDC, who if he walks up too far, quick fissure trap, and he is very dead on the Lion. So the mid matchup, yeah, it's a Necro versus the Lina. The Lina has a bit of an edge, of course, just from range, and you're able to, you have a bigger mana pool, you can spam your spells, but Freeze, of course, on the Necro, you can get your mana back, so it kind of goes back and forth that way. But definitely a Lina favorite one. As bottom, 11.
Making a bit of an attempt here with the Hex.
Should be.
You're just trying to make sure that 11 doesn't sort of start to find his footing down bottom in terms of being able to keep the pressure on Sylar mid lane. Fisher attempted onto Freeze, won't get the block off, so Ori can't follow up with the stun. Freeze will be fine, able to salve himself back up.
Lanem is just going to be rotating between that bottom and mid lane, being quite a nuisance as well, because they won't see him when he's making the moves, because they don't have any vision down bottom, because theirs was taken out. So he does kind of have free reign moving between these two lanes, and it could punish the Necrophos.
See the moments on the side lanes, both Paparazzi and Sylar seemingly able to farm at the moment. The pressure from each respective dual lane, not enough to sort of throw the carries off their stride at the moment.
Bit of a different duo of supports that we've seen, as you could say, traditionally, is the Lion as well as the Wind Ranger. Bit different because what they provide is not really team fight. Neither of these two supports give you team fight in the mid game. They're really all about like this single target control. I mean, line stun is AoE, but in the position that you're in, it's really hard to get any items because it's a 5-position Lion. So as for getting a multi-hero Lion stun, it's pretty unlikely.
Both offlaners at the moment also finding fun. See both Yang and 11 getting fair bits out of the lane. No one really losing out, as it were, really off the back of this laning stage. Sure, the kills as we see are favoring VGJ Gaming, but it's still very close. No one sort of struggling. Everyone's being able to find something this early stage. We're going to see Lanham look towards the courier with the Enchant Tome. Min, not quite enough damage. But we'll still be able to get it back to safety. See up top, a little bit of a go on to Fade. Taking quite a bit of damage here. He's got the stick charges. He's going to go for the TP out. And will not make it. Fenrir and Paparazzi actually have the right click to take him down.
Just enough damage. So DDC is in a tough place, but with the zoning from Sylar from the damage, Lanem now has to start to back away.
I mean, that top play there from Fade, he did not think the damage would be there. As he TP'd out in the middle of the lane, he could have tried at least to do it behind the trees, but he just showed himself, and that more in for Fenrir.
Yeah, allows him to help his Arc Warden even more with that extra damage.
Do get the chase here. The stun into Hex, not quite enough control. And the Fisher's there from Lanham. In fact, they could look to try and turn as they look towards DDC. They're able to corner an Enchant Totem. Here comes out from Lanham. And they punch down DDC. Both 11 and Lanham able to keep themselves alive.
It's one of the reasons you don't see Lion too much. You can get bullied pretty hard in that laning phase, particularly versus something like a Nature's Prophet, who's going to be in your face that whole time. The rotations from Lanham so far have been perfect for his team.
Straight back in bottom, DDC. 11's got to be careful. Pretty low at the moment on this Nature's Prophet.
There's no meta.
The other lanes at the moment, Paparazzi, still second highest on the CS. Still doing very much fine for himself, despite against the aggression of Fade and Yang.
Yeah, they've just been playing it straight up as a duel lane. The pole was actually blocked by VGJ Thunder, so yeah, Fenrir just kind of stood in the lane. Sure, he sapped some experience, but more than worth it to secure that. You see Yang goes for the bottle, picks up those bounties. Keeps himself nice and full so they can keep that pressure going. The Arc Warden is farming just a little bit better than Sun.
Seen down bottom, DDC was looking to try and find the wraparound on 11, but Lanham's hot on the case. Just throws a Fisher down to make sure neither of Sylar or DDC can get any closer to the Prophet. 11 still playing around on this bottom lane, very low on both health and mana. The mid lane, Freeze is now going to be, he's got to be careful. So in terms of the matchup, only a slight sort of CS advantage for Ori, but those extra denies have meant that he has hit 6 first. And Freeze has to respect the amount of burst damage that can come out of this Lina if he gets caught out by a stun. Bottom lane, see again the wraparound, DDC, they will find the stun out onto both of them, the Hex as well, straight up setting up for the kill onto 11. Lanham tries to chase down DDC with the enchant totem and will find the return kill.
Good
Again,
rotation by Fade.
and Lanham just, as you say, able to sort of abuse the weakness of the line. DDC gets his skill set out, but then as soon as the Shaker's able to get on top of him, there's not much a line can do.
Haste.
Ori is hasted up, walking down toward bottom. Fade scouts him.
At top lane, Yang tries for the TP and it doesn't. Oh, he makes it out, but he's going to dodge the curse. So there'll still be more in for Fenrir as he got that kill with the curse damage.
Paparazzi's feeling very happy now. They know that the Wind Rangers kind of put it in this man to move around, but now Lanham again.
That's the setup that they needed. Straight away, Freeze will actually manage to keep himself alive against the Laguna Blade with, I think, must have been pretty much a full wand and the Ghost Shroud. It was actually enough burst heal to outdo the damage of the Laguna Blade. Bottom lane, set up from DDC again. Fade and Sylar there as well with a Hex. More than enough time to get those right clicks through as 11 will not get the chance to sprout and hide. Another kill that Sylar's able to get himself involved in on this bottom lane. He is 1-0-2 on that Terrorblade. That's a scary looking number if you are VG Gaming. You cannot let Sylar have a good start on this hero. We know that Paparazzi's having just as good a start, but Sylar's on his Terrorblade.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Paparazzi's going for a pretty neat item build that we haven't seen too much on the
Oh, the
Overlord.
Necro Rush.
Necro Rush. I guess because he's versus that Necrophos, you can get rid of the Ghost Shroud at all times, and they want to be playing at a pretty quick pace.
I was going to say, yeah,
do so.
I like that. I guess they don't really want to take it late against Sylar's Terrorblade. As any team will know, especially the Chinese teams, you don't want to take it late against the Sylar Terrorblade. You've got to sort of shut it down.
Even if the Arc Warden, you can scale, like Winter was saying,
got the
this is one of the
possibility.
better heroes with the magnetic field, but this looks like it's about them going for timing, just trying to take advantage of their split push and their ways to just pressure the map. They have Nature's Prophet, they have Arc Warden. This game could get to a point where it's just like that pressure all over the place.
It's all about the wrap.
Yeah. They even got Lina, which is that's a hero that's great to nuke out those waves, shove the waves.
Look at this deep wraparound from Fenrir and Lanham, hunting for Yang in the tree line. Lanham with the control, enchant into the slabs and a few right clicks. That's going to be more in here for Fenrir on this bottom lane as Yang cannot hide or escape. That's 8 in so far on Fenrir in 8 minutes. Really getting the job done there on his side. That's a 2-0-2 on that top lane.
And they're going for the tower. 11's joining in. This is exactly what we expect them to do. Is look for those tower pushes early on to try to get more map control versus the Terrorblade.
Just play it fast.
Yep, play it fast. And they have vision already of Yang porting in. They have vision of the rotation that was almost coming from DDC since they've got that early vision on the high ground behind the tower. Easy tower for them.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower
They
has
really do
fallen.
they have to keep the pace up though. If they are going to go for these sort of builds, this sort of play, they can't allow it to sort of get to that sort of closing to the 30-minute mark, where suddenly Sylar will turn up and he will be able to defend these pushes. Mid lane DDC unable to find the stun. They get the shackle shot,
Radiant's
but Ori's already
top
behind the
tower
towers.
has
They won't look to lean in for more. Lanham does
Radiant
find the
structures
Fisher.
are fortified.
And DDC just able to get himself around the tip and back up to the high ground, back to safety.
Top, they're
Radiant's
still
top tower
pressuring this
deserves
tower.
Just as much help as bottom.
Paparazzi does not want to give Yang any
attack.
mercy, but now Fenrir may have stepped up a bit too far as rotations are coming in.
See Freeze. Good towards Fenrir. DDC coming in as well. They've got the Reaper side down as well as the stun. They'll take him out. He's gone for 15. They're falling low though here as Paparazzi still with that Tempest double doing damage. He'll look towards Yang. Yang able to secure himself back to safety.
Now mid also Fade.
With the shackle. Just ruin the combo here for the moment from Ori and will allow Fade to back off. Lanham's there though, looks for the Fisher block off, does find it. They're bringing in Ori and Levin, and do they have the burst to control? Yes, indeed they will, because Fade, he's blocked up. Maybe they haven't got enough damage. They haven't. DDC's there with the stun onto Lanham. Lanham trying to hide, but they've got the vision. They'll be able to bring down Lanham. And they find 11 as well. With the stun back up in a second. Looks like 11 may just be speedy enough to get away, and he is. He's able to get out with the phase boots.
Yep. I think Ori was just like, I'm so low on mana. As soon as he missed the Dragon Sleep, he just started moving away. Lanham, maybe it was a little bit of miscommunication as he's convinced forward. Dying for it.
More and more space for Sylar. as he goes uninterrupted on this bottom lane.
They've got to they pretty much have to be running around as this 3-man unit on VGJ Thunder right now. They need the Lion, they need the Wind Ranger, they need the Necro, because Magnus still needs time before he can be that space creator. We see the Blink is 1,500 gold away for Yang, so he can't really contribute too much to helping his team out while Siler goes for that free farm. And that should be the book one pretty much finished up for Paparazzi.
And we'll see where he sort of takes himself with that. If we do see him go straight towards the mid lane or the bottom lane to look to apply that tier 1 pressure elsewhere, after they have, of course, already taken the tier 1 top and mid lane. See, Lanham was trying to find some sort of a wraparound, but Thunder keeping themselves backed up. As VG Gaming now able to push in on mid. Not even needing Paparazzi at the moment, just with the pressure of the Treants.
We see exactly what they want to do. They're like, yep, Terror, they can't actually go for these fights too much. They don't have the Blink tag on the Mag. However, Yang is getting a decent wraparound. They want to just, Vici wants to just pressure towers non-stop to be able to hunt this Terrorblade inside that jungle.
Switching literally, they find the shackle shot onto the Prophet, but now DDC gets turned on. Yang playing around the RP, won't commit it as DDC will get bursted down by the Nature's Wrath. The tower as well will fall as Vici Gaming continuing to be able to play at the pace they'd hoped to. 9 for 5, 2 towers taken.
So much poke and prod. You see DDC wants to walk up to get a stun off, but gets hit by a Dragon Slave, a Fissure, a Curse, a Last Word, and as well as some Spark Raids, then a Wrath of Nature on top. There's just so many little damage instances that come out from Vici from such a distance that they have to be careful. In order to take team fights, Thunder, it almost feels like they need Yang's Blink Dagger now.
They do. 1,200 gold towards it. Just looking to find that farm Yang
and look at Vici. They do not wait.
Straight down bottom.
Like, oh, we're just gonna keep looking for the towers. Don't slow down.
And they're bringing Paparazzi over this time. He's heading down towards the bottom lane. There will be a double damage range to pick up on the way as well. Azori will grab that into his bottle. Continue to play as fast as they can. At the moment, of course, Sylar is able to keep up with the gold that they're getting from the towers, with the fact that he is farming as quick as he is, as him and Paparazzi pretty much even in net worth, despite the fact that Thunder themselves are yet to take any towers. Now look towards mid lane, the TPs are coming in. Lanham ready to hold the defense, leads him with a Fissure. On the side, DDC does find the 2-man stun. Just buying the time for Sylar to continue to hit into the tier 1 tower, but now with the curse out, he'll back off. They keep that tier 1 tower alive for now, VG Gaming.
Just outside of the deny range as well. Clean that one up later on for Thunder.
Paparazzi's, activated the Necro book and pushing in on this bottom lane.
I think Vici, they know that meta was just used as well, and that's one of the biggest things that Thunder can actually use to, if they want to take a fight, they want to involve Sylar, so they should be looking to get some space.
He's found Lanham here with a quick finger. They'll take down the Shaker and look for more. Shackle shot from Fade connects. Can they get DDC in range though? He's heading straight for Paparazzi, but Paparazzi actually looking towards Fade here with the Spark Rave, not enough to get the damage to get the kill, so Fade's TP will be successful. So Thunder able to at least push Vici Gaming away from trying to take down that tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. But now Fenrir and Ori ready to smoke up.
They want to find Sylar. That's the most important target for them.
It'd be such a huge kill.
Yeah, they're keeping up really well, of course, but Sylar is still right up there too.
And look towards taking down the Tempest double. And we'll get it, but it's a bit of a bait because Ori's now in. The Global Silence comes out. Now looks to lead him with the Yules. Ori gets the connection. There's the combo. There's the burst. Sylar's got the big kill thereafter. They do find. Sprout from 11 won't catch DDC, so DDC gets out of there. But Sylar's off the map for still a brief time as we're still in the early stage of the game. Only 14 minutes in, but every second counts. Where now Vici Gaming have this small window to be able to push in and know that they've got the safe knowledge that Sylar is not farming for a bit of time.
Yeah, it was a great movement too, the way they set up for the kill. It's not just like any kill, they faded the Tempest up a bit, but they also can transition into a tower. Now
Zori making quick plays here with the Yules. They're going to commit the Echo Slam for this one. Do they have enough damage? They don't. The Ghost Round's off. They couldn't quite get the damage done. Yang does get the skewer. Reaper Sight down onto Lanham, but Lanham's still alive. He's going to back off. The Light Strike from Ori down onto Yang. Yang's in trouble. The Shackle's going to be sent out onto the Silence of Fenrir. Will not go down, neither will Yang. Yang able to start bottling up. Freeze. Fissured is Arcane Curse, but will not be enough damage as Thunder do get out. Only just not quite enough damage there from the combo of Vici Gaming to bring down Freeze's Necrophos.
It looks they messed up the combo a little bit, right? Because he did not actually get chain stun. He got the Ghost Shard up because he's got that hood. They weren't able to burst through it. That must have been like such a split second between the stuns for him to get.
And here we go. This is the big timing for Yang. He's got the Blink Dagger.
Okay.
They've got to try and find something huge with this one. If they can take team fights where Sylar doesn't have to turn up, that's the dream for Thunder. He's just got to keep on farming, at least make sure he has his BKB, which he's going for first after the Dragon Lance, because he can feel it. He knows the pressure's coming in from VG Gaming. It is going to get to the point where he has to turn up to the fight, despite as much as he wants to keep focusing on farming.
He has to be able to deal with just the Yules combo. If he just gets walked up and Yules done, then quick
They try on the RP, but indeed the Yules straight away onto Yang. Yang now being focused, but DDC for the side. Comes to the wrapper, gets the two-man stun, setting up Sylar for the double kill. Only Yang to fall at the moment. The shackle shot from Fate comes in as Sylar moves in. Then the Thunder back up to full health. They find a third, they'll lose DDC. But a scary fight for VG Gaming there, because that's Thunder turning up with Sylar, and he's now getting involved in the action.
That is the reveal of the Magnus Blink Dagger, though, and it only catches the one. Ori was like a split second off from getting him before the RP went off. That could have turned just about everything there. But yeah, that double stun DDC, what a wraparound. Getting it on top of Fenrir, so there's no global coming out.
The shackle, Fade, the power shot, and the urn.
He's got to use.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Not using his short scepter.
He did the math.
I mean, I guess he did the math. He went down to 7 HP. Oh my goodness, Ori. Really living on the edge there. 12-9.
The nice thing that VG does have for them is like the ticking time bomb is a bit there for Sylar. They always will have the Arc Warden to deal with it, but they've also got these 3 cores that scale really well into the later stages. You know, Nature's Prophet, you can itemize, you can get big. Arc Warden and Lina too. You have these mixed damage coming between these 3 heroes. While you look at Thunders, it is a lot reliant on Sylar, but we know that Terrorblade can be that beast as VG. They go for this Roche.
They know there's no RP.
They use the double Necro Book to try to commit for this.
There's no RP for 20 seconds.
Ooh,
on
that's
Yang.
one killed. Fade drops extremely low because of that. As they can't contest.
They're getting away with it. VG Gaming Thunder don't wish to turn up without the RP.
No RP, no meta. Very, very difficult for them to take a fight. So yeah, 11 with the Orchid finished up. Gonna go for that Shadow Blade too. He's gonna be a right-clicking menace as well. An Orchid, incredibly good item versus that Necrophos.
Oh yeah, and not just that, also against the Magnus. If they've got the vision of Yang having the instant silence from 11, the instant Yules from Ori, the global silence, there's so many things that Yang has to be worried about when he's playing with just the Blink Dagger. Sure, some of these will be sort of avoided when he has the Shadow Blade to get the initiation, and you'd expect afterwards looking for that BKB, but at the moment, sure, they've got a Blink RP, but it's going to be so hard for Yang to actually get it off in these fights, as we saw in that attempt in the middle lane with the instant Yules play from Ori.
It's always going to be Spirit too, because they have to know where Fenrir is. Because if they do try to go for this and a global comes out, it's like, uh-oh.
It doesn't matter if the RP
There's going to be no follow-up.
Yeah.
They have to catch the silencer in type of disable if the RP is coming out. So there has to be some simultaneous initiation. As we see, Fade goes for a Blink Dagger as well. And that's where we can have that simultaneous initiation from that Wind Ranger as well as the Magnus.
I'm talking about Blinks, there's now one done on Lanham as well, so another problem for the Magnus, for Yang, going in for the fights. There's going to be that counterplay. The mid lane already here, jumping up, but the straightaway turnaround with the Metamorphosis is enough to take the Aegis out of Ori's hands. They're very grouped up though, Thunder. They're moving in, seeing they can chase down Ori. BKB's popped by Sylar. Do they have the control to get Ori? Ori's able to use up, dodging that last Metamorphosis. There's the power shot. Fade snipes Ori, takes him down. They get the Tempest double as well. Did cost them the BKB charge, but they're able to kill Ori twice. They're getting the Aegis and getting him once again.
Ooh, he melts when the TV starts to right-click, and I think the Empower might have still been on too, so that extra right-click damage is really significant, up to 300 per hit on Sylar. And just the positioning of that fight, you could see that VG was really reluctant to walk into a high ground. It was actually the perfect zone for Thunder to try to go for something.
Yeah, it looks like Lanham wasn't really able to get into the neighborhood to look for that jump, because he did just get the blink. And they were able to sort of capitalize on the fact that they were as grouped up as they were, Thunder. Back to less than a 1K difference between the sides. Another close game, as it were, to end the day here of day 1 of TI8 group main event.
And now they know, but right now VG does know Metamorphosis is down. There is an RP to be worried about, but without meta, that's probably their biggest thing that they have to be concerned if they try to take any. But they are looking to just, they're going to keep farming up, it seems. 11 getting closer to that Shadow Blade. Ori is going to be the one that's looking for hunting. Successful scan. Come up on both sides.
Self crackles with power.
Got these wards down, VG Gaming, but
Money to burn.
Thunder seemingly aware and keeping themselves well away from this left side of the map.
Look at the Paparazzi's really just trying to be a nuisance versus the Magnus, it seems to. That build's going for a blink dagger on top, so just trying to get into the back lines so they can. I mean, we see that a bit when we see the silencer. You want to be able to utilize your global as best as possible, so the blink dagger is one of the best ways, because global comes out, you get on top of their faces, and you can use the whole duration of it.
Dire's bottom
This smoke
tower
play here
needs
from
some help.
Thunder.
It's also the blink on. It's a similar concept to blink versus void too, right? Blink versus Magnus. If you're quick, if you have quick fingers, you can get that blink up before the RP
Dire's
happens.
bottom tower needs
Thunder.
some help.
They have meta up in 20. They're looking for some. Side here.
Smokes it away. Yeah, he looks to commit, but straight away the global silence. The Orchid comes out. There's nothing to follow at that RP as DDC already gets picked on the back ladder.
Echo.
Straight in with the Echo. The vision for him. He gets the look down. Solar wants the BKB, but can't get the Sunder up. They've lost 2, they've lost 3. They buy back on DDC. Fade's been spread out. Cuts himself out with the power shot. He's surrounded by the trees. Double kill for 11. They clean out Freeze as well as VG Gaming crush the team fight.
That's
It's exactly what we're saying with
Radiant's
this
top
Magnus.
tower
The
is
jumping
falling.
instantly
Triple kill.
counterplayed.
a quick global. Not only that, he got
Radiant's
orchided
top
as soon
tower
as he
is
jumped. The
falling.
global comes out. Also in the back lines, Freeze was in a perfect spot on the sidelines. Breaks the smoke, sees everything because they have that high ground vision that they placed before that fight started.
Oh my
and
goodness.
look at that. You just see all the ultis being used from each,
Radiant's
and they get a
top tower
perfect
has
fight.
fallen.
And that's
on
when
Echo.
2 minutes in,
Radiant's top
with
barracks
this
are going to
build
blow over.
from Paparazzi, they can put so
Radiant's
much
top barracks
pressure
have
on.
fallen.
A full set of racks here taken in the top lane. You really have to command the Arc Ward and build this game. It's
Yeah.
just been the perfect way to play into this Sylar Terror play. You can almost tell it with the way that VG Gaming's playing. They had planned for this Sylar Terror play. They knew that Thunder, they always rely on this. They'll pick it up early in the draft because they feel so confident. And to give credit to them, they destroy a lot of teams with it. But VG Gaming, they've turned up with a plan, and so far, that plan's certainly working.
Look at how spaced they are. Yang gets the real one, but gets instantly orchid by 11. Look how everybody was just ready to.
And look at Lanham.
Lanham gets the perfect jump because that high ground vision, that ward that they have right there, tells them everything that VG Thunder is trying to go for.
Dire's middle
But
tower
Lanham
is under
gets
attack.
the perfect target, and Freeze also makes the fight a pretty much instant 4 versus 5. Look at the wards in that area. They were so prepared for a fight.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
It's only going to get harder for Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, that was the reveal, well, not the reveal, but it was the second usage of Sylar's BKB and just unable to do anything. This is why, like, Silencer is one of those heroes that really just crept out of nowhere coming into this tournament, and we're seeing what power it can have in the hands of certain teams. If you're in the right spot, you just mess up with the entire initiation. You are the perfect counter-initiator. They have to find Fenrir before he gets those globals if they're gonna go for those troublesome RP plays. And this is the scary thing too, is if you're playing with a Magnus, you usually as a Mag, you don't want to be the first one to jump in. If you do that, that's the situation that you're probably going to see happen a lot of the times. You have to have simultaneous initiation or clear vision of the fight in order to go for those kind of plays as Magnus.
At this point as well, Sylar pretty much needs his next sign before they go for the fight. He's got to get this Manta finished.
Yeah.
So that he can have some sort of play against the global coming out after he BKBs, as we saw that. Even when he does get the BKB out, very hard to play against, so just the lockdown they have, the stun combination from Lanham being followed up by Ori. He has to get that BKB out early, otherwise there's going to be no chance for him to get a Sunder off in the team fights.
Yeah. They bought a gem now on Thunder, so this is one of the key things they need to start
Who
doing. Like
could
we're
turn
saying,
away
vision
from
is
this
so
battle?
important in this. They have to be able to see where Vici is, but they also don't want Vici to see where they are. So if they can take out some of those wards, it can make the fights a little bit harder for them. And I think they also, they've got, was it just two Shadow Blades already, and I think it's a third one being built on top for Lanham, so the gem is going to have its uses in that point too.
Paparazzi build-wise, queuing up the Hex as his next item after the Blink.
More
And
control.
Crowbook. He knows if he can just get on top of Sylar in the fight, quick with the Hex, there's very little Thunder can do as a lineup in terms of just keeping Sylar alive.
It's also one of those, like, it's very instant, the Hex. So if they do see the Magnus, they can just get that off on him as well. And like we were talking about too, in theory, Vici should have the vision advantage in most of these fights because they've got the spark rates all over the place. They've got these screens. So Thunder, they have to have simultaneous initiation or jumping out of a smoke is probably one of the other.
Levin's BKB nearly finished. Sylar did opt to finish off the Hurricane Pike, in fact, before finishing the Manta Star, so still without that. When the next fight kicks off. VG Gaming, yeah, 9K advantage.
They're about to pick up some big items. I think 11's about to have the full BKB. Lanham's picking up a full Shadow Blade. They're all very content with pick. Next items, you see them, they went back and farmed. We're not really too. Don't feel like they rush anymore. They got that one Rax advantage. 11 constantly pushing in these lanes. Really hard, like you said earlier, like way earlier. Thunder, they were struggling to hit towers, and it's just going to get harder and harder when they're versus an Arc Warden as well as a Nature's Prophet constantly pushing out those side lanes. Fade.
Dire's
Smart
bottom
play.
tower
Kills
is
the
under
DD.
attack.
Doesn't want. More than likely died.
Bottom lane, Freeze and DDC have to be careful about giving up their
Dire just
position.
denied their
Tower will go
bottom
down,
tower.
11's able to find the deny.
No gold.
As Freeze and DDC, do they really want to try and make a go on 11? 11 is sort of separated from the team, so it would not be a bad time to make a go, and they do. Straight in, the global silence is there, and that gives a chance for 11 to pop the BKB, turn around, and he goes into the Orchid and takes down DDC. Freeze tries for the TP out, but the fish is there to cancel the TP. VG Gaming now turning their attention towards Freeze. They'll take him as
Double
well.
kill.
They couldn't kill 11.
They saw a chance, but
Global silence.
global silence.
Fenrir has had no hesitation this game. Each and every time, the Global's coming out instantly to keep his team safe across the map.
Always in the right position. He just has
he
to do
could be
it
anywhere on the map, huh?
That time. In the other situations, it's a little harder because you don't want to get by that P, but. They're looking to punish here now. Final tier 2 stands outside for Thunder.
They've got the Shadow Blade on Yang. Obviously, you have to be careful with the sort of Necro 3 books in place. As soon as they realize that Shadow Blade's there, you can expect to see Paparazzi just sort of sending the Necro units in to get vision of Yang before he makes the blink play from Invis.
He doesn't want to reveal that he has this Shadow Blade. He's the one carrying the gem right now, so it looks like they may actually just smoke and try to take a fight while Global's down. That might be their best opportunity.
We go, Yang. Eyes on Lanham. Lanham separated for the team. They don't have to worry about global silence, but Lanham, with his own Invis, is already making it out of there with his own Shadow Blade. Hard for Thunder to keep tracks on him. Lanham's going to be fine.
Haste.
I think those clicking around, I actually think Thunder may have been out of smokes because they just did the living one, or they may have not. I guess they didn't have it on anybody because they were grouped up looking like they were going to smoke. But now DDC does have it. But those side lanes, they have to be sure to push these out because whenever they're like this, if you make a smoke play and your lanes are pushing in, it's extremely obvious.
This is absolutely going to turn into a game from Thunder. The question is, can Sylar carry this game?
It's going to be him
Can he
versus the
carry it?
world.
He's got the money for Manta Star now. He's still making very good timing on his items, as you can see. Top net worth,
Yep.
obviously being backed up by that constant empower from Yang. He can farm. If the game goes on, you can expect to see this Terrorblade stay at the top. The problem is, though, the rest of his team will fall behind in comparison to sort of the even spread of farm that VG Gaming's 3 cores have.
And can he take it versus that triangle?
Yeah, does get the RP, but again, the global silence out straight away. The fish is out on all of them. Lanham walks in, looks for the control onto the backers, but they don't need it. They find the Laguna. That's going to be Yang
bottom
gone.
tower is
The
under
BKB's
attack.
out from Sylar, but he can't find a target. He has to try and retreat somehow, but it's been used up. Ori with the setup. Hit with the left truck around the side. There's the Lanham's in with the Echo Slam. Gets them all.
Absolutely.
Lanham. Oh, just to really run salt into the wounds there. Lanham cleaning up the team fight with that jump.
Has all the buybacks in the world.
Oh, they certainly do, but they're 14K behind now.
Could use some help.
That was 11 actually ported into the back of the fight as they got the globe off, and he kind of forced all their attention too. So then they all clumped as Sylar was retreating, and it just set Lanham up for that wonderful echo. Such patience coming from him. But every time, Fenrir just clicks the R button.
So the reason why we're seeing Silencer favored so much as the first pick.
Money's pouring.
it just ruins so many sort of ways the teams want to play the game. And as we're seeing, it really does make it impossible for Yang to get his job done. Sure, he gets an RP. They may get a kill off the back of it, but during that time of the global silence, there's so much that VG Gaming can do. And Thunder as a squad, you sort of see them aimlessly wandering around. There's nothing that they can have to throw out apart from popping these early BKBs. As we saw, they can get weighted out and allow Lanham to get in with a big play like that to shut them down. I'll see it again here. Yang.
It's just so hard because Yang feels forced to be the first one to jump in every single time, but he can't have the follow-up. So we see there, and you see on the mini-map in the back lines, the TP from the Nature's Prophet comes in. He starts pulling attention from the rest of them as Siler tries to retreat.
And watch this from Lanham. Here's the beauty. And they're all very, very close together.
Absolute dream.
Fantastic jump from Lanham. As of course he himself, when he jumps in, he doesn't have to worry about any sort of global silence. It's another day in the office there for him. Easy plays and full focus as the game, of course, not over yet. Thunder still in it, but continuing to slip further and further behind.
Yeah, looking very hard. I mean, Lanham almost has the same net worth now as the Necrophos, and that's going to almost put them to having 4 people in the top 5 net worth of this game. It's a lot of pressure on Siler's shoulder. Yang's only getting the 1 heroes in the RPs, but they don't have someone to start. They don't have someone else to show him anything. They don't have someone that's running in and getting him in all that information. So he's kind of jumping in blind. It's making it really tough for himself.
And you can see in that last fight as well, sort of the way that VG Gaming, it feels like they want to sort of get in the heads of Thunder, because they have full vision of Yang stepping up with the sentry mid before he made the blink. They let him use RP.
Yep.
They could have easily disabled him before he cast the ultimate, but they wanted to let him do it to bait the rest of the team into feeling the RP. He managed to get it off. We've got to do something. So it really is sort of next level little plays from VG Gaming like this that are making it even harder for Thunder to find a team fight.
They've been absolutely brilliant on all their counter initiations, like every single time. Fenrir just always in the right place to not get caught next to the Lina, not get caught next to any of his cores, and then yeah, Lanham of course also. So these 2 supports on VG definitely crushing in this game. Thunder, they're just, it's looking real grim now because the map control is gone. If they want to go for any type of split play, they can start getting picked off very easy because 11 is a monster now in this Nature's Prophet.
Oh yeah, AUC getting closer and closer, and VG Gaming smoked up and looking to find a catch. DDC on the sidelines. Is he going to be the one to be jumped? Lanham leads him with a Fisher. Doesn't find the connection. So DDC's out of there. The smoke will be unsuccessful as Thunder are able to back themselves up and away. RP is back up. Well, Siler at the moment sitting at level 19.
Man, that Flux cast range is actually so crazy with the talent. The 400 cast range on Arc Warden. He can just poke people all the way, so far away from him. With that Blink Dagger too, combining those, you can just easily mess with the back lines.
Where did Radiant's middle tower go?
They finally do claim that last tier too. Continue to close the map off. Lanham wanted to maybe catch Siler, but just... But they've got full map control. They're farming enemy jungle, they're farming all 3 lanes. They've got this tri-core to deal with Siler, and it's been perfectly.
Somehow got to find a way, Thunder, to have this team fight where Siler can go to work. It's going to be so hard to do so as mid lane. Just trying to deal with the Tempest doubles, getting thrown out by Paparazzi. As it will fall, but not before doing a lot of damage to DDC. Bottom lane 11 just leads it straight away with the Orchid onto the Wind Ranger. They do not support themselves away. They're looking towards 11. They want to try and bring him down. 11's got the rest of his teammates coming in. Lanham will drop the Fisher. Siler pots the BKB in the Metamorphosis. 11 still alive. They will find him. Shackle shots out. They'll get the Nature's Prophet. So Thunder able to get a kill, and this time they don't lose heroes, but as we see, still the base. That top lane, they've got to keep tabs on it, but that Rack's already gone.
At least they forced him to use the cheats.
Oh, and no, the Lion DDC.
The heal.
Oh, the raid. Just got to be careful. We'll be fine as the creep does tank it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
KB though, we know how important it is for Siler, and it's ticking down. It's down to 6. And that was meta expended too, just to kill that, well, not just to, but to kill the Nature's Prophet.
Looking for the big smoke.
Find Ori here.
Ori's a big one. Wow, that's a beautiful shackle.
They use the global.
Can they kill him a second? The team's quite far away from Ori. Well, he's got the BKB. He is going to back off. Yang's got the RP, he'll use it. Tries to hold it on, see if he can get a bigger one, but just the one, that's going to be big enough for him. He heals himself up into the air, but there's the stun follow-up. They'll get Ori. A little towards the Tempest double too, but that's a couple of big kills back-to-back. Getting 11, getting Ori. Not just getting Ori, but also, again, this is sort of the getting through the Aegis. They're getting these kills. They are able to involve Sylar. They still need a whole lot more, though, to really climb themselves back ahead. They still sit 17,000, 18,000 behind, but certainly sort of glimmers of the chance the Thunder can pull it off if they're able to set Sylar up for greatness in these fights and these pickoffs.
Yeah, I'm glad that they were quick on that one, right? The meta was starting, the metamorphosis was about to wear off, so they're like, okay, let's try to get a quick, easy pick, and they actually do find pretty much the most important target besides paparazzi. Gives himself a little bit of signs of life and ways to time to push out these lanes that are constantly being shot aside.
And it will get a little scary for VG Gaming if Thunder are sort of able to get to this point where they're pushing in with the Terrorblade. Because obviously with the build of the Arc Warden, when there's sort of a 5-man push coming at you, this build, it's not going to be as strong as sort of the BKB Mjolnir, the fighting. It's all about the pushing. It's all about playing and applying pressure whilst you're ahead. So if somehow the momentum does really start to shift in favor of Thunder, we could see sort of Paparazzi's build start to be punished in a sort of sense.
They're going for a cool approach though. I click on the Lina, I saw Aghanims queued up, and then I click on the Arc Warden and I see Dagon 5 queued up. So they're looking to just zap down this Terrorblade. That's a pretty cool way to deal with it.
Yeah, yeah, the Laguna against the Aghanims Laguna against the Terrorblade, as you say, with the pure damage. That's going to be nice.
And they know the BKB is extremely low already too, so they've got more than enough control. If they can burst him down with those Dagons, with the double Dagon 5 coming out from an Arc Warden, damage.
So there we go. Aghanims on Ori. Aghanims also picked up by Lanham on the Shaker. We do have the blink for DDC, so we
DDC's
now sort of
finally
have this other way that Thunder can start the fights without their Magnus going in.
Yeah, it's really important. Now they've kind of got 3 if they can possibly have Fate also jump. So yeah, Vision still will be a bit of a problem though for them. Farming from Roche would find out in about 45 seconds.
Dire's middle tower is
Pressure
under
on all the
attack.
lanes. Trying to make VGJ split up around the map so they can get those picks. They're not gonna split up.
See down bottom.
Yang's constantly just shadow blading, staying off the map so he can look for opportunities.
We're getting close to 11, but 11. He's well away from the creep wave, and already Yang frees that's TPing back to prepare for any sort of siege that may come in on the middle lane. Smoke picked up by Yang. So if they want to try and make another smoke play, but as you say, with sort of the map control that VG Gaming have over Thunder's half of the map, it's very hard for Thunder to sort of leave the map, leave their base and look for those smoke plays without it being too obvious.
Walk up this high ground, not him.
They do find that. Straight away with the shackle, the global silence does come out, but he's already got the metamorphosis off Sylar. Is it enough damage to find Lanham? He forces himself forward for the Impus. Lanham's able to get away with the Shadow Blade. You're going to see Yang jump in and gets the RP on Ori. Ori's down. Top RP there from Yang. It's not a flashy one, but it gets the job done. He gets on Ori. They take the Lina out of the fight. Now they're looking for more. Fade tries with the shackle. Doesn't connect. 11 will be able to walk
middle
off.
tower shouldn't have to take this
There,
abuse.
again, sort of seeing the pickoffs that they need. It doesn't matter if it's just one in the RP. If it's one of the cores, they know it's going to stop VG Gaming from looking to fight.
And Paparazzi.
Oh, he's got the lead in. Fade. Blinks in. Gets the shackle. Can they bring the rest in time? Yes, they can. Reaper Scythe as well. Paparazzi dead for 110 seconds.
And let's look at that Roach timer. Oh, 10 seconds.
Thunder making the clutch plays when everything is against them.
I was gonna say that Fate's buyback may not have been worth it because he couldn't actually find any follow catch-up, but it pays off. He finds.
Now, if they can find Roche,
Dire's
that'll
middle
be the
tower
other
isn't
question. I mean,
going to
obviously
last long.
Paparazzi can buy back.
It is up.
If he feels the need to head over and contest this, they're still without Ori for 20 seconds. 11, getting quick on the split push pressure, and bam, there it is. As soon as they know they're in the pit, Paparazzi's back in the game.
Yeah, they've got that ward vision outside, so they see them walk in, and Paparazzi has to go for that buyback. Because Yang is stalking 11.
He's left the skewer lead in straight back, but DDC? DDC? I mean, did he DC? I mean, he didn't press Hex. He didn't press
Attacking
anything.
Radiant's
That
bottom
11
deck.
gets out.
That looked weird. Miscommunication.
I guess
looking at a different part of the map.
DDC wasn't looking.
I'm not too sure. That was a bit of a mistake there.
That was a skewer into the easiest Hex of DDC's life.
Miss an easy pick off that they should have gotten.
They absolutely should have got
Radiant's
that.
bottom barracks are under attack.
There's no excuses for that.
Roshan's down.
As that is now Roshan for VG Gaming.
That's a refresher shard for Lanem.
We saw what he was able to do with one Echo Slam. We'll see if we can do it too.
The seeds of fortress.
Is that, that little pickle, maybe not too costly, but it's, you got to keep your cool.
Who'd they give everything to? Aegis is on Ori as well as the cheese. Can actually give Paparazzi anything. As he switched his build as well on Paparazzi. Queued up the Ethereal Blade instead of the Daggons. I was so excited to see double Dagon 5.
Double E-Blade's just
Double E-Blade's
excitable.
hype.
Yeah,
it's
also
probably,
good.
It's probably the safer choice
I
as
think it's
well.
arguably more useful.
Yeah.
It adds to sort of the push in terms of right click.
You can save your
and
teammates, you
it's
can save
effective
yourself.
design.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the smarter build. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes well, they'll get the Dagon after the E-Blade. We're going to see them lead out the base here, look to jump forward, but immediately with a blink of the Shadow Blade, Ori gets out.
That was quick by Lanham.
Jumps himself away from Freeze's Shiva's guard.
We have Siler has 6,600 gold. He's top of that net worth by quite a bit now.
I mean, what's he thinking about? What's he getting? Does he need to, does he stat up or does he go full offensive?
Stats are usually really good when you have the Magnus, but he could also look for something like that. Oh, he's a little squishy though. That the Lina Aghanim is the thing that maybe wants him to stat up.
Well, I was going to say, because the Lina Aghanim's, is there not just a temptation for him to get a Lincoln Sphere? Not much else procs it. If he BKBs,
there's nothing else to proc.
he's not going to get zapped. But we'll see.
And you're bang on it. There you go.
There we go.
He
He's a
queued
smart
it up
man.
right after.
He's a
Dyer's
smart
middle
man.
tower isn't
And he's
going to
following my
last
iron
long.
builds. That's probably not the best of stuff, but we'll see how it works out for him.
Now Vici with this Aegis, with this cheese. Stop getting Yang. Tries to go big.
Oh, but there's the Yules. There's the stun. He just get forced back. Can they get Yang back to safety? 11 comes in, looks for the silence on the DDC. DDC is still alive for now, but they're losing that Yang.
And
Yang.
Gem drops on the deck too.
Yang does have buyback. He's gone for 70.
Lanem is pretty low on mana as the Earth Shaker right now. So is Ori. Paparazzi switch back to deck.
Oh, big effect.
The jump forward, the
Okay,
hex.
they got the global silence out of them. Silence actually leading straight in. He's looking towards Femrit. Femrit's able to get up to the high ground.
That's the BKB.
As long as they can sort of get back Thunder, this isn't too bad because they've made them use global silence. They will buy back on Yang, and that will also force VG Gaming to back off.
I mean, the fear is though, they used global, but there was also a metamorphosis used as well as that BKB. So it's down to 5 seconds. Might have been down to 5 seconds anyway before that, but now they know that they're going to have a pretty big timing window in about 20 seconds to look for something. Even though they don't have the global, they still got this Earthshaker with double echo.
They do.
Double full combo.
Sylar needs to spend his money. He's still got that 8K. He's got enough for the full Lincolns and buyback.
Yep. Yang has to be so careful
He's
right
gotta
now
head
with his
over.
positioning. If he dies, they're in so much trouble.
There we go.
Lincoln's finished.
He's got it.
Meta does end. For that push. They're gonna smoke up. They're gonna look for a catch off of it. Have to watch out. Yang had to be so careful.
I know there's no metamorphosis. He's got to hit a big RP, and there is a chance to do so. No global silence. Fisher. That's a freeze. Ori, look at the combo. Paparazzi sending Tempest double in. They won't find the control, but they do get the burst on DDC. DDC's gone. Already the rank starting to be beat upon by the Tempest double. Ori has used the BKB. Light striker right down. There's the jump forward. They get Shack with the card. Instant a hex onto Fade. There'll be a buyback for DDC. Sylar heads into the Yang. Oh no! He whips it. Doesn't grab anyone. Sylar's going to be careful now. The BKB's worn off. The Linkers has been popped. He gets sent up the force, but Lanham in with the slap on top of Sylar. Sylar needs on the Yang. Sylar gets himself over to the side, but Yang are faded down. They get the Reaper side down onto Lanham, but Lanham bites back immediately. Only 3 alive on Thunder. Can they hold the jump in from Paparazzi? Tempest double with the hex. Ori's going in deep. Ori loses the Aegis, but DDC gets taken down. There's a dieback on the line. VG Gaming taking another set of racks here on this bottom lane. as they get the control, the stun, oh, the zap. There'll be a buyback from Freeze, but they've lost the bottom lane of Rax.
Lanham has another echo. He's used the refresher shard. He's prepared for a
Only
jump.
Freeze and Sylar are alive to try and defend this.
Radiant's middle tower
Freeze
is
trying to go for Femrit. Femrit getting low. Femrit will fall. And now Freeze, he has to be careful. 11 actually getting beat down by Sylar. Sylar's in, but 11 in the slam again. Lanham straight in, looking for the angle. Sylar's still alive for now. Can he get us under off? He can't. Sylar's down. Freeze as well. He'll get bursting. Sylar buys back.
But it's just Sylar.
It's just Sylar. 20 seconds until Line's back in. 20 seconds before Fade's back in. Sylar getting just upon. Sylar get the BKB for the global. For the BKB, meaning no thunder for Sylar. GG is called as VG Gaming take down Thunder and knock Thunder out of the competition. VG Gaming will move forward. And boy, did they deserve it here, taking down one of the big sort of end bosses in China, the Sylar Terrorblade. VG Gaming